Now that you've set your goal, defined your global context and completed your research and source evaluation, you need to transfer this into criteria for success for your project. In order to develop criteria for your project, you need to develop a set of specifications for your product or outcome. When creating your specifications, ask yourself the following questions. How will I know when I've achieved my goal? And how can I judge the quality of my product or outcome? Start with considering the following options: aesthetics, cost, customer, resources, environmental considerations, function, materials, size. For example, I placed this into a table in my process journal, and from here I actually made an adjustment to my personal project goal. After considering the environmental impact of my project, I decided to display my images in an online blog spot rather than creating multiple photo books. This meant I needed to go back to investigating and research on how to create a blog spot and evaluate these sources. Once you've established your product or outcome details, you need to create your 5 rigorous specifications. For example, these specifications I created for my project are: my photography blog spot must have 8 images that capture the color and activity of the parap markets. My photographs need to demonstrate my developing understanding and application of the photography elements of perspective, composition, color balance, and lighting. My blog spot must be aesthetically pleasing and easy to view by having lots of white spaces surrounding images. My photograph headings need to be simple and descriptive. My photography blog spot needs to reflect the colorful and multicultural characteristics of Darwin. You then need to book a meeting with your supervisor and show them your specifications and receive feedback. Ensure you take their feedback on board before progressing to the next session of this step. From here you need to place your specifications into the format for the criteria of success rubric. This is where you create the assessment rubric for how you will evaluate your product or outcome once you've finished creating this. The criteria for success rubric simply states what your product or outcome will be at an achievement level of excellence, substantial, adequate and limited. You may need some help creating this, so your supervisor can help you here. Ensure you log your supervisor's meeting on Connect so you can keep a record of this communication. Step 2. Develop a plan and developmental process. In your process journal, you need to develop a plan and development process for the completion of your project. It's a good idea to start with a timeline that plans for the following: due date for each segment of the personal project, meeting with the supervisor, incremental stages for the completion of your product or outcome, how you'll manage your time to complete your personal project, for example, balancing sport with schoolwork, etc. Draft or report, final copy of report, submission of whole personal project, process journal report, and product or outcome. An example of how to do this is create a Gantt chart, like we do in our design class. By using Gantt chart, I can make long or short-term goals for my personal project. My Gantt chart is quite limited. When creating yours, ensure much more detailed information. As you progress throughout the creating of your product or outcome, make sure you reflect on how you are keeping to your plans and Gantt chart in your process journal, so you can demonstrate time management and organizational skills. Step 3. Demonstrate self-management skills. This is done throughout the entire project. You just need to remember to reflect on how these are developing. Self-management skills are organizational skills. Say it again.
Yeah, so
For example, meeting deadlines and sticking to plans. Maintaining a process journal with regular updates and selecting and using technology effectively. Self-management skills are also effective skills. For example, mindfulness. Practice strategies to overcome distractions and stay mentally focused. Demonstrating persistence and perseverance. And self-motivation. Also practicing positive thinking. Self-management skills are also reflection skills. Reflecting on the development of new skills. Techniques and strategies for the effective learning. Keeping a journal to record reflections. And identifying strengths and weaknesses of the personal learning strategies. Continuously self-assessing one's work. In your process journal, make sure you write entries. Address how you are developing your self-management skills. This will greatly help you when you're putting together your personal project report. If you need help developing or on more information on self-management skills, see our College Director of Positive Psychology, Mr. Boyce, or our college pastor. Now that you've finished the first section of the personal project inquiry cycle, you need to move on to the third section, taking action.